Girls Basketball Notebook. Eleanor Roosevelt prepares for life without Octavia Wilson. This is the season's first edition of the Post's High School Girls Basketball Notebook, which covers the top stories in the Washington, D.C. area. During the season, the notebook will run every Monday. In this week's notebook, we cover Eleanor Roosevelt, St. John's, Loudoun County and Long Reach. Eleanor Roosevelt will go team first without Wilson. The Eleanor Roosevelt girls basketball team has been a model for success for the better part of a decade. And for the past 4 years, Octavia Wilson has been a critical component. With Wilson now a freshman starting for UNC Charlotte, the number 6 Raiders are tasked with filling the void in production left behind by one of the best players in the region. Asked how the team, which finished 22-4 and made a run to the AMD.4A state semifinals last season, could possibly replace Wilson, Coach Delton Fuller modified one of his favorite quotes from the film Remember the Titans. "You can't replace an Octavia Wilson," he said. Rather than focusing on offense to pick up the lost production of a player who once scored 58 points to lead the team to an overtime victory in the playoffs, the Raiders plan to do it mainly on the defensive end. "I'm trying to explain to the girls it's not how it used to be when we could just go in and put on our jerseys, and be like Superman and take over the game," Fuller said. "That's not going to happen this year. They're going to have to battle." Girls Basketball Top 20, St. John's, Riverdale Baptist lead season's first rankings. "I don't care if it's the first women's basketball game where the score is 4-3, he added, "as long as we have 4 and they have 3. On offense, Fuller said the Raiders will approach the task mainly by committee, with senior Achia McCalla first in line for an expanded role. McCalla was a proficient scorer averaging 15 points per game last season. Still, she recognized that she had somebody else to fall back on in Wilson, and this year will be a different challenge. "I feel like I'm up for it," McCalla said. "I watched her and I'm ready to pick up where she left off." Dan Roth. St. John's enters another year with a target on its back. After receiving preseason praise on both the local and national level, the St. John's girls basketball team finds themselves in a familiar spot, entering another tough schedule with a big target on its back. In the ultra-competitive WCAC, and just about every other possible matchup, the Cadets are the team to beat. Do we feel the target? I don't know. It's kind of always there, it never goes away, Coach Jonathan Scribner said. It's been there for a while because the Cadets have been blessed with the kind of depth that rules out early December terms like rebuild. Yes, they lost 3 starters from last year's team, including All-Met Player of the Year Aisha Shepard. But you wouldn't have guessed they were facing any kind of talent drain back in November, when 3 seniors committed to Division I programs on signing day. Forward Jalen Carradine will play for James Madison University, guard Asha Scott is going to Vermont, and forward Sydney Wood is headed to Northwestern. They have the experience. This is a very strong, veteran roster, Scribner said. We're very excited. Scribner's excitement could grow or decrease exponentially before the new year has arrived, as St. John's is set to take on 8 nationally ranked teams in the first month of their season. Participating in the She Got Game Classic in D.C. and the Nike Tournament of Champions in Arizona will more than prepare the team for what promises to be a relentless CAC schedule. Michael Rigo. Positionless Villafleur leads Loudoun County. At Loudoun County, Derek Fisher doesn't pay much attention to past records. As he enters his 8th season coaching the Raiders, he remains preoccupied with present challenges, like a tough early season schedule against foes from Fairfax and Prince William. I don't keep track of trends and I don't have the numbers for you, Fisher said. But I do know there are some good teams on our schedule and in our district that can easily beat us. After some reflection, Fisher recalled his team's current streak, 8 state tournaments in 9 seasons. Over the last 3 seasons, the Raiders have lost 2 games to county opponents. During the Raiders' recent dominance against the rest of Loudoun County, senior Natalie Villafleur, who verbally committed to Robert Morris in August, has played forward and center. This winter, she will be leading Loudoun County as its starting point guard. In a 55-47 win in the season opener against Battlefield on Tuesday night, Villafleur had 23 points. "She is just positionless, and I mean that as a compliment," Fisher said.